Hi, and welcome to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the go-to podcast for holistic health seekers looking to harness the power of nature for health and healing. I'm Jen. I'm passionate about health, and I'm a health educator. I'm a whole food, plant-based culinary coach and a master herbalist. And I'm here with my friend Dan, an exercise specialist and wonderful master herbalist. Together, we dive into the world of natural healing, bringing you a wealth of knowledge and practical advice. We draw from both traditional wisdom and modern science with herbs and foods to help you achieve optimal health. So today we have a kind of an eye-opening topic. So this is something that is really near and dear to my heart, something that is really taking me many, many years to figure out, but it's the key to blocking healing. Dan and I both went to the School of Natural Healing and we took classes with Dr. Schultz. So hopefully, Dan, you remember some of these things that we talked about. And Dr. Schultz really talked a lot about this as well. And so, what I'm talking about is stress. So, not just the mental load of how stress affects us, but it really can dig deep into our health and sabotage the way our body heals. It can prevent us from healing. And so, to me, it really, really, really is the key to optimal health and recovering. So, Dan, where would you say most people get it wrong when they think about stress?
Well, I think, we all have stress in our life, but I think a lot of people think they have a stressful day at work or they have a stressful day, period, and they'll go home tonight and they'll have a glass of red wine and they'll unwind and the stress is over and they're good to go for the next day. But what they don't understand, a lot of people don't understand, is it doesn't just go away. One bout of acute stress like that, it keeps having impacts in the body, like with our cortisol levels, with our levels of adrenaline, with our levels of blood sugar. All these things are happening. And if you're stressed out every day, just going home and not taking a relaxing breath is not going to change all these chemical changes that happen in the body. It's something that we
Yes.
have to work on over an amount of time. We have to actually admit that we have a problem first. That's the first step.
Yes. Yeah. I love that you said that. So many people, right, they like stick a band-aid on it, having that drink at night, um, or or something else, just to distract themselves. Let's just ignore the stress, push through the stress. That's definitely me. I'm a go, 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 don't stop kind of person. And as I was being interviewed last week, after we did our podcast recording, and the guy that was interviewing me, all of a sudden he goes, "Yeah, I can see you're one of those people without an off switch." I was like, "Oh my God, that is definitely me. That's definitely me." And I really have to find that off switch and really work on that off switch, right? And so I think that I'm not alone. There are so many of us out here that don't have that off switch. We're not taking that time for ourselves. We're not taking time off on the weekends. We don't even know what a weekend is, much less a vacation, right? So I took a vacation last December. So it's almost a year ago, right? And so
Yeah.
that's funny, not funny. It's definitely not funny. It's something that we all need to do. And if we don't, it's setting us up for disaster. Because, like you said, the first thing it does over time is, when we're stressed out, we have elevated cortisol. And when we have elevated cortisol, it slows down so many systems in the body, beginning with your digestion and digestive enzymes. So even if that's all it did, then you're not digesting and absorbing the nutrients in your food. And you have to have those nutrients to power all of the other things going on in your family. If I'm not able to digest my nutrients, I could eat protein out the wazoo, all these people worried about protein, but if I'm not breaking it down and digesting it into those amino acids, I don't have those amino acids to carry hormones anywhere in my body. And so that's where I think a lot of people get confused with I can't get enough protein. It's not that an intake problem, it's an internal problem. We're stressed out and we're not able to break down our foods to get all the nutrients we need. Now, protein's not the only thing. We need vitamin C, vitamin C, vitamin C. And the more stressed you are, the more vitamin C that you need. But that's just the beginning. So cortisol slows down your digestion as well as many, many other things in our body.
Yes, and we're not getting these nutrients. Some of these nutrients we actually need is for our body to manufacture serotonin and melatonin, all these feel good hormones. And now our body can't even break down the food so we can have the necessary precursors. It's just, it
Yes,
is a
it's
brutal cycle, you know?
right. That sets you up in a bad mood or depression or anxiety, which increases your stress and raises your cortisol even more. Yeah, I wasn't even going there. So I love that you said that. Yeah.
And just one bout of stress, the cortisol can stay up from just one bout for several days before the body clears it. So if you get into an anxiety cycle, your
Yeah.
cortisol is going to stay high all the time. You actually, if you're in a high stress for a long, long time, your cortisol will actually start to come down because your body gets so
Burnout.
dysregulated. It doesn't know what to do.
Yes. And then you don't even create that cortisol. And then you have trouble getting out of bed. And then you can't even do the things you need to do during the day. So not only are you not creating cortisol, you're not creating any of the other things either. Your body is just kind of in survival mode and you're barely getting by. And if you think about it, so many people, especially here in the US, they're not even eating a nutrient dense diet. So if you're eating an optimal diet and you're always stressed, you're not able to break down those nutrients in your food. Well, if you're not even putting in those nutrients into your body, those high vitamin C rich foods and foods high in potassium and other minerals, then you're really going to suffer. And that's when damage is really, really going to occur. And so something that I wanted to talk about with this, with stress, um, not only because it affects me personally, but I've noticed in most of my clients, when we look at their blood work and we see lots and lots of inflammation, we see insulin resistance, we see cardiac risks, we see protein deficiencies, we see B vitamin deficiencies, and things like that. And so then when we dig in a little bit deeper, then it's revealed that there's no self care at all. There's no me time. They're struggling with sleep, and so when we look at it, all of those things, not only are they cardiac risks, there also are cancer risks, they're autoimmune disease risks, and they can all be brought back to stress. All of them. They can all be related to stress. And so it's why are we not slowing down? Why are we not taking the time? I'm asking myself too. Why is it so hard to take a break during the day or take a weekend off? I know for myself, if I take a vacation, if I take a long weekend, like before I take the long weekend, I'm like, and I haven't done this in a long time, shame on me, I need to do it, right? Um, and I shouldn't say shame on me. I just need to do it. When I do plan out to take a long weekend, I do have a lot of stress and anxiety about I've got to get all these things done before I can go. And there is kind of this panic. How am I going to get it all done before I go? And then I go and I spend 3 days not looking at a computer, not checking my phone, not checking emails. And I get home and everything worked out and everything was fine. And nothing went wrong because I wasn't there for 3 days. And so I don't know why I can't remember that every time I want to take another break, but things do work out. I don't have to work 7 days a week, 24/7. And I think that hopefully this relates to our listeners and other people out there too. You know, you kind of get more, you get energized and you get inspired when you do take these pauses and breaks. And so it's not just a long weekend every now and then. These things can energize us during the day as well. Taking a quick break during the day or throughout the day can help too.
Yeah, it's a habit. It's a habit that we become this stressed out person and we learn to live with it and we don't know how to turn it off. It's
Yeah.
just a habit. It's another habit we have to break, but it takes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of work, or it's not going to happen for you. I'm still working on it myself.
Yeah.
It's serious. This is serious, serious issue.
Yeah.
for pretty much everybody that I work with, me and all my clients, they all have some kind of stress problem, some kind of poor self-image, some kind of PTSD. And all these things are, I mean, it's sad that we're all so stressed out all the time.
Yeah.
So, and there's things that, there's things that people do that have these anxiety and PTSD. They tend to procrastinate.
Yeah.
They tend to think that people don't like them. They always think they don't really think much of themselves.
Yeah.
So it just self perpetuates itself when you're in this cycle of anxiety. God knows we both know because
Yeah.
we've experienced it ourselves. So
Right. Right. I have my clients, they fill out a form, of course, before we meet, and I'll ask about their stress level. And I'll have clients who tell me, I have very little stress in my life. And then we start talking, and they have a whole lot of stress going on in their life. And it's like, it's funny, not funny, that they don't realize how much stress they have going on in their life. As we start talking and they start telling me about their daily life, the daily to-do list, and taking care of a lot of my clients, at least, they're taking care of aging parents, but then they're also taking care of kids or grandkids as well. And so that is stressful all on its own. And then when you add in all of the other day-to-day activities too, so many people they're working, they're trying to work, they're trying to take care of kids or grandkids, they're also taking care of aging parents. That's stressful all on its own. And then when we try to add in the different tools for health and healing, it's really difficult to do.
yeah, that's the funny part you mentioned is a lot of people they don't even realize they're under so much stress. So, but that's the thing you have to address the problem. You
Right.
have to realize, do I have a problem? And
Yes.
I can assure you, I'd say 95% of people do. From my
Right.
experience,
Right.
I've never worked with a client that didn't have problems and mentally and stress. I haven't, you know?
Right. 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 Yeah, stress is definitely underlining, I would say, probably 100% of my clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to get to the root, and we have to figure out how to get that to be a part of everyday life for me. And so it's so funny because we did an episode, I don't remember what episode number it was, on trackers and using different tools and things like that. And I've used them on and off and never really um, captured one, but no, one hasn't really stuck to me, mostly because I give off some kind of electric vibe where I can't keep them for very long. But I've been telling you, I got an Aura ring a couple of months ago, and the data, because I wanted to see the data, and for somebody who always wants to go, 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 do, 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 this ring is constantly telling me, slow down, rest, and things like that. And when I look and read why it's saying I need to do these things, it's like, oh my God, I really do. I really have to stop and rest. And one of the reasons why I didn't want to get it is because I'm very competitive and I knew I'd be competing against myself. Oh, I have to do better tomorrow, do better tomorrow. Well, now the only way to do better is to not do anything. And so it's the total opposite of the way I've lived my entire life. And so it's for me, it has really been a game changer on, really being able to see what the stress is doing to my body.
Yes. And once you start to see what it does to your body, it motivates you to, okay, what
Yes.
do I need to do?
Yes. What everyone's been telling me for years and years. Oh, it is true. Oh, I do have a problem there. Yeah.
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 And like I said, some of your behaviors, you may be wondering to yourself, why do I always procrastinate on something I want to do? Like, I don't know, it could be a hobby or you want to go on a trip or get a new job or go to school.
Yeah.
Why do I not do that? Why do I never find the time? You need to
Yeah.
check yourself because it's more likely you're stressed. And
Yes. Yes. Well, and when for the people who do know they have a lot of stress, which a lot of clients say they come to me and they know they're stressed out. It's not everybody that doesn't know. The first thing they say is, "What should I take?" or I've heard I should take adaptogens because I'm stressed out. What adaptogens should I take? And so why do you, I can tell you how I feel. I feel like that's not our first step. How do you feel about that?
I think that I agree it's not the first step, but I go ahead and I will tell them what they can take because I think that adaptogens can help mitigate some of the damage of all this stress we're under. So you can
Yes,
implement an adaptogen while you also start to work on lifestyle changes, mindset changes. That's the way I
right.
look at it. What do you say?
Yeah. No, that was the same thing. Because if I just give you some adaptogens and we don't work on the mindset, we don't work on finding time to pause and rest, that adaptogen is not going to do you any good. It's like it can't, you can't just take, that's a band-aid approach. That's conventional medicine, the way that it works. You know, I have a symptom, I'm stressed, so I'm going to take this prescription, this medicine. And that's just not the way that it should be. But there are some adaptogens that are awesome that can really help if you start incorporating the other things too, which are pausing throughout the day, pausing before you eat. A, that helps to slow down your cortisol and helps increase your digestive enzymes too. And so if that's the only time you can pause, if you can pause and say a prayer or a blessing or say something you're grateful for, or just take a deep breath before you eat each meal. Number one, that's going to help you lower that cortisol. Number two, that's going to help increase those digestive enzymes so that number three, you can better absorb those nutrients. And so that's going to help you right there. And then we could add some adaptogens as we start incorporating some other tools for you as well. So let's talk about some adaptogens since we haven't mentioned any herbs yet. But before we do that, our medical disclaimer. Everything we talk about is for educational purposes only. We do not diagnose, prescribe, or treat. We are not your personal practitioner. We do work with clients one-on-one, and we are more than happy to help you one-on-one. You can contact us if that's something that you're interested, but take the information that we are talking about today, do your own due diligence, research, and find out if it is right for you. So Daniel, let's talk about some of the adaptogens that can be helpful for someone who is working on some of these other tools to help with stress.
I do. We talk about this over a lot, but I do like ashwagandha because there's studies showing that it actually lowers your cortisol, which if we're in a lot of stress, we want something to help to start lower the cortisol levels.
Yeah, I just
And
like to
another
say
one,
it.
yeah, you like to say it?
Ashwagandha, so calming. But I do
Uh,
want to say something else about that too. So ashwagandha has always been one of my favorites too. Very calming, wonderful adaptogen. But I did hear David Winston talking about it recently about how it can lead to cytokine storm in some people with thyroid conditions. And so that is a thyroid storm, I'm sorry, not cytokine, a thyroid storm. And so if you do know you have thyroid disease, then you do want to work with a practitioner before adding um, ashwagandha. It was one of my favorites, but I will tell you, I have stopped it because of my history with Graves' disease and hyperthyroid. So I just wanted to say that. So ashwagandha was always my go-to. And then since I had learned that, I'm like, oh, maybe we need to watch that. So what are some others?
holy basil's a good one.
Yes, or Tulsi.
Hmm.
Love it. I love just to smell it.
Oh yeah.
Mm, very calming.
Also, I'm not so sure it's an adaptogen, but I really like chamomile as far as stress relief.
Yeah, and relaxation. Yes.
Mm.
I put that in the same category as lemon balm, which is also another one that has, for some people with hypothyroid, um, can be an issue, but they lemon balm is so calming, like the chamomile. I love those for bedtime teas. But lemon balm in testing, they've shown that it is as effective as anxiety medications. Here in the US, we're a prescription society. They don't tell you that because who's going to make money off of a lemon balm? I have it in my garden and it's all over because it spreads. It's a type of mint. But in other countries, especially in the UK, lemon balm is given for anxiety.
What's another adaptogen you like?
Cordyceps. So cordyceps is
Okay.
wonderful for the heart, very antiviral, but it's also a fabulous adaptogen. and it's a medicinal mushroom. I like to buy it as a tincture. I like eleuthero or Siberian ginseng. Eleuthero is another one that I really like. Very calming. Gotu kola can be really great, but it's energizing too. So if um, you have a history of being, a lot of stress, no time, things like that, gotu kola can help with energy without being stimulating. However, I wouldn't take it in the afternoons because of the energizing. You're not going to sleep. You might not sleep as well. Pardon me. And then maca. So maca is also a cruciferous vegetable. It's a fabulous root, wonderful for hormone balancing and strengthening, wonderful for so many different things, but it's another great adaptogen as well. I keep looking over at my herbs. I'm like, oh, what else? Because I know I'm forgetting something. Licorice root is usually given by most herbalists. You want to make sure you get the deglycerized version. Licorice root is not right for everyone, but it is definitely one that is wonderful for lowering cortisol and helping. So when we have high cortisol, another thing that we can have is leaky gut, which also increases the risk of other diseases. And licorice root is very soothing and can help with that as well. I am one of those people who cannot tolerate licorice root. I also have family history of glaucoma and with combined with Graves' disease, which is also related to thyroid eye disease. It causes too much pressure in my eyes. And so if those are conditions for you, you want to make sure you're watching licorice root. And I don't know, I'm sure some others will come to mind, but those are some that I really like right there as far as
Those
adaptogens.
those are all fabulous. That's enough herbs. So we have some herbs that they can try, but let's be honest, nobody wants to slow down.
No,
No, I mean I don't know anybody that does.
right.
They feel like they don't have any time to if they relax or if they take a weekend off, they're going to miss out on something important. But
Yes, I love that.
you
Yeah, the
know,
FOMO. FOMO is
yeah,
real.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Why do
want
you
to,
think it's so hard?
I don't know. And I would tell you, so I'm telling everybody this because it's something that I deal with as well. It's like, why don't I have time to take I tell my clients I can coach my clients into doing it, but I can't coach myself. This is why even coaches need coaches. But so something that I've started, so I always do my meditation before I go to bed. That's something I've been doing for years and years and years. And so I do that. And I've started adding a meditation in the middle of the day too. And I've been trying to start another meditation for first thing in the morning. First thing when you get up. I think that we need something that is positive and uplifting before we get on Facebook, before we get on email. Today, I woke up kind of late. I wanted to make sure I got ready for our podcast. For those of you who don't know, we record very early on Friday mornings. And so I was like running around trying to get everything done. So I listened to my meditation while I was running around getting everything done and checking my email. So that is not the appropriate way to do your meditation. That's not meditating. I was listening to some beautiful music and some beautiful words and even a prayer, but I was checking my email and doing all the other things too. And so that doesn't count. That doesn't count. And so, yes, it was great that I went into the motions of turning on the meditation. So I guess I should say that's a pro, getting in the habit of starting the meditation, but then actually doing the meditation and not letting other things creep in. And so I can't, I'm not slapping my hand this morning. I'm saying I did at least start the motions for it. And I'm a work in progress too. I'm a work in progress too. I think that we need breaks throughout the day. And so I strongly believe we need at least 5 breaks throughout the day. We need to set clear boundaries. When you get that ding or notification after dinner, you don't have to go and look at it. You don't have to respond. Even if it's somebody in a different time zone, they don't need an answer right now. And so that's another thing that I know I'm struggling with. We live in a world where people are working around the clock and we feel like we have to be available around the clock as well. And so I think setting clear boundaries and respecting ourself enough to stick to those boundaries is important too.
Yeah, it's not like how you say you're taking small steps because if I were to tell somebody who's super stressed out, that they need to start meditating an hour a day, that's going to stress them out more because they're going to think, God, I
Yes.
don't have an hour.
Right. Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be so grand, it doesn't have to be so grand at first. Just taking 5 to 10 minutes several times a day and just breathe, close your eyes, just relax, maybe listen to some calming music. That sends your body a message that we want to relax. We want to start to lower our stress hormones, lower our
Yes.
blood pressure, lower our blood sugar. Just doing this
Yes.
several times a day is a huge
Yes.
benefit.
Right. And I want to say it doesn't even have to be 5 to 10 minutes. If all you can do is 1 minute, just get started. Just get started. Take 3 deep breaths. 3 deep
Well, yeah,
breaths.
we're just turning habits from, we're trying to,
Yes.
our habit's a stressed person. Let's try to make a habit to become relaxed. We will be a
Yeah.
relaxed person.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and people will talk to me and they think that I'm so chill and relaxed. And I'm like, I may look like it from the outside, but the inside, you don't know what's going on, right? And so
Yeah.
you can't look at someone and tell if they're stressed out or not. Some of us are really, really good at disguising, especially those of us who come from a lot of childhood trauma where it wasn't safe if we showed what was going on the inside, And I know Daniel and I have very similar backgrounds, and I think a lot of you out there listening do as well. And so it's learning to know that we can slow down and we can be quiet and we can be safe in that time as well. Yes. And so reminding yourself that you are safe, reminding yourself that it is okay to slow down, and reminding yourself that you are loved and it's safe to be calm in this moment. So I think I will end there. Um, I I hope that any of you, if this has helped you, or maybe you don't agree with us, we hope that you would share with us. We hope it's helpful for you. We hope that you can find ways to find some peace and some time to do some self-care and honor your body, because that is definitely, definitely something that's can block you from complete healing. If you want complete healing, you want to recover, you've got to find ways to handle the stress. And someone telling you you've got to relax isn't going to work. If someone walks up to me and says, relax, then I actually am going to get stressed out that way. And so find what's going to work for you. Listen to your body and what your body really needs. We know in our heart that we need to rest. We know in our heart that we need to take time out and spend time with family and do the things that are fun and joyful. So start one small change today. Make space for a pause in your life, a conscious break where you breathe, reflect, and release the day, letting things go. Let it go. Let it go. In 5 years, what's going to matter? If this is going to matter in 5 years, then maybe it's something that needs your attention. But if not, let it go. And let these small habits start to grow. And you will find that you'll be able to add more and more time. You'll be able to manage everything else around your boundaries. So set your intention. It's one of the most powerful things that you can do. So I wanted to thank you for joining us. If you would like to learn more about me, you can go to holisticgen.com. If you'd like to learn more about Dan, danthenaturalman.com. We love working with our clients. We love that you joined us today and listened, and I hope that you tune in again next time. Thank you.
Yeah, sign out.
It didn't log you out, right?
Uh-uh.
I think it worked because it said that it was downloading the video. So I think that
Oh,
worked. So that way you don't disappear, but the video will still download to my computer. Okay, so I think that was good.
Yeah, it was.
Hopefully people will listen to it. We got, I think it said like 9 episodes downloaded last week,
Oh, really?
something like that.
That's good.
I don't know if I still have it up. I don't think I have it up anymore.
Well, that's good. Got more
Yeah.
traction, like, and we don't.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything to advertise it. Well, I mean, it's been,
Right. Me
you know.
neither. Yeah. I'm on other podcasts where I mention it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
On Monday, we had 4. And so I'm wondering if it's from that podcast. My podcast came out Monday, and then there
yeah.
were 4 downloads.
Very possible.
Yeah. Nothing since then. Friday, when
Very
it went out,
possible.
there were 4. So, yeah. What is this one?
I mean,
Okay.
there's some people that their podcast gets big and they make a living off just a podcast.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? I think we
Oh
might have a
yeah.
little ways to go for that.
Well, I try to be positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this stress thing, we gotta really focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're focusing now with that ring because it's kind of like, okay, it's got to be kind of cool though because people, I'm like you, competitive.
Yeah.
I want to get my heart rate variability back up, and
Yes. Yeah. When I look at my sleep scores and stuff like that, it's like, oh my God, I have to do better. And then my HRV
yeah,
is killing me literally. Yeah. And I'll lay down to meditate. And I think in the back of my mind, I'm like having anxiety that it's not lowering. Like, I have to lower it. I
yeah,
have to lower it. I have to lower it.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
that's not going to work.
I know that's the anxiety. Like when I used to take my blood pressure, I'd be like, oh God, it's going to be high. It's going to be high. And of course, it would be.
Yes. Yep.
I go to the doctor, used to go, and they'd be high, and then I'd go home and take it, it'd be low. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
all they want to do is put you on drugs. They don't even tell you, well, you
Yeah.
might be stressed out. They just want to sell you drugs.
Right. Well, it's shame they didn't even tell him. He went to pick up when he had shingles. He went to pick up pain medication for the shingles, and they also had 2 medications for blood pressure. And he was like, I'm not getting those." He was like, "They never even said you had high blood pressure, at the doctor. They just called
Such a
it in."
business. It's the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. There's a lot
Joke.
of people waking up to that shit.
Yes. What a joke.
Well, they say, I don't know, hopefully, I've been hearing this
Yeah.
RFK dude is going to go after the pharmaceutical companies, and I
Yeah.
say he's already started.
Yeah. I think he
He's
has
definitely
too.
anti-vaccine. I think he's
Yeah.
they're gonna start questioning their policy. All they are now is drug pushing. All the hell they are.
Right. Right. And disease management, not healthcare. And so
Yeah.
I think that he is going to do a lot to help with that.
Yes. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Be good for us too, because some people just think that. Well, that there do you have people that just believe in doctors and nobody else can help them but a doctor. That kind of mindset.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I've noticed over the years, a lot of people who are like that, they get sick and they start going to the doctor, and then one day the doctor can't figure out what's wrong. They can't help them. They're like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Then their
Yeah.
beliefs kind of shatter, and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like my raw vegan client, I mean, she's totally a part of the pharmaceutical, like this was all completely brand new to her. Right. She did go off of her medication, but she was switched to another one. So she's on another one. And so
That's
the,
odd that
le-
a
the,
raw vegan is
the
like
lesser
that.
of 2 evils. I know. I know.
I don't know any other raw vegan that's not anti-medicine.
Right, right. Well, she has a cardiologist, an endocrinologist, um, her regular doctor. She has a psychiatrist. She's going to all these doctors, and of course, they're all giving her medications, but none of them communicate with each other. And she's like stuck in the spiral, right? And I told her she can't work out because they said she'd put pressure on her neck.
Well, as long as you have a doctor, you're going to always be sick.
Yeah, yeah,
Dr. McDougall used to call the stress test. the assembly line to the heart doctor. The treadmill.
Yes.
He said that. He said they might find some little abnormality in your heart, and then they put you on some drug. And he said, I see them in 6 months, and they're a zombie. They look like
Yeah.
shit, and they were healthy before they went there. You know,
Right. Right.
it's
Yeah, it's awful.
mind. It's just, and they scare you.
Right.
I'm sorry, Daniel. Oh shit, what we found on your test. You're gonna have to take this drug, or you're gonna die, Daniel. Like, oh, okay. That's evil to do that to somebody. That's what they did to my dad.
Yeah. Right. Right. Whatever insurance is going to cover, that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Yep. Pump you up with chemicals to
like
give
that's
you some
gonna
false hope.
yeah, like that's gonna heal anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, my
Yeah.
mom, my mom got her dentures last night. She
Uh,
got it. She brought them home in this bag, and she showed them to me. I was like, oh boy, it's so depressing. I'm like, oh my God, you know.
uh,
I don't know why she lost all her teeth like that.
she just lost them all?
They all started going bad on her. I don't know how her oral hygiene was. She stopped going to the dentist, but still, I know people that don't go to the dentist don't have such a bad.
Right. What about getting her to use, she still have some teeth?
Yeah, they're about to get pulled though.
Because there's so many connections between the oral microbiome and heart disease, sudden heart attack. Would she do, because she does eat healthier, right? She changed how she's eating. Would she do a mouth thing, like a swishing?
Oh
Have I
yeah.
told
Yeah.
have I told you about the mouth molds I make
I think you sent me an email about them.
with the recipe? So I make mine. So I bought some silicone molds. You could make them and then you could just take her some. I bought gummy bear silicone molds off of Amazon, just the silicone ones that makes to make gummy bears. But then all you do is you mix together probiotic capsules with a little baking soda, a little coconut oil, and then whatever essential oils would be helpful. So like frankincense or myrrh, and then something that tastes good, some cinnamon, which also can help too, a couple of drops of each. And you just stir it up together. I also added some chicory root in there, but you just stir up the powders and then I put them in gummy bear molds and stick them in the freezer. And so then you just put one in your mouth, swish, 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 and then spit it out in the garbage, not in the drain, so you don't clog your drain. But that puts probiotics and prebiotics in your oral microbiome to help with your mouth.
Wow. Okay. I've
I
never
was
tried.
I just bought Dr. Christopher's tooth powder. I hadn't had it before, but I'm going to stir some of that into it as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I go to the dentist next week, and I had these two small cavities last time.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what happens. So I've been doing the herbal calcium, complete point of tissue. Um, I got this stuff from. It's called Calcium Institute. It's just calcium and zinc,
Uh-huh.
and you brush your teeth with it. I've been
Okay.
trying that to see if that helps.
Good.
And this other toothpaste that this dentist recommended I've been using, it's like got hydroxo, some kind of calcium in it.
Mhm.
It's not fluoride because these are natural dentists, but it's some kind of new calcium. It's
Yeah.
called Dr. Jen's toothpaste. I've been trying that, so we'll see if it worked. If
Yeah,
I
I hope
it
so.
filled up. I hope so
Yeah.
because it's like $300 to get a damn fucking filling.
Yeah.
Dentists don't play around.
No, they don't. They don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to
I
look
hope.
into these two you're talking about. I've had that recipe forever. You know how we do.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
get something, I forgot. Damn it.
Yeah. Is it tooth mold? Tooth molds.
I used to do
Uh,
the old pulling. I remember that. I used to old pull
yeah,
too.
that's a great one too. Because I used to have sensitive teeth. I'll just stick it in our little podcast folder so you can get the recipe. I used to have really sensitive teeth and I started using these. All right, I'm sticking it in a random place. All right, open up the podcast folder. You'll see at the bottom. Um, I started doing this. The dentist was like, the hygienist, you needed to use Sensodyne like 3 or 4 days a week, and then switch to a different one 3 to 4 days, and then go back to the Sensodyne and rotate them so you don't get used to it because you're just going to have to keep using them more and more. And I don't need anything, and it used to be like I'd go to the dentist, they'd spray my teeth, with the cold water, and I'd be like crying, tears running down my eyes, and they're not sensitive at all anymore. And
Well,
so
how many days do you swish with it?
I haven't been doing it in a while. I haven't in a long time now, but I used to do it every day. Just every morning, after breakfast, I would put it in and swish.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wish I'd been doing that before this next visit, but I didn't.
right, right.
But we're gonna see if the complete bone tissue and the herbal calcium works for that.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
I
Hopefully
haven't
it all
taken
goes well.
I haven't taken a ton, but I think I take 4 a day of each.
Hmm.
And I try to get my greens in, all that stuff.
Right.
I like my Brussels sprouts a lot. I don't know.
We do too. Brussels every night is probably cabbage and cauliflower. Pretty much
Oh yeah?
cabbage and cauliflower every night. Broccoli
Oh yeah.
almost every night. Brussels sprouts almost every night. Lots of cruciferous veggies. Yeah. 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 We better go. It's already after 10.
All right.
I hope everything goes well with the dentist. And I'll be excited to tell you how my interview goes with this Dr. Anita.
Me too.
And I'm supposed to meet with Alexa. She did a metabolomics test to see if there's any heavy metals so that we can work on detoxing from the nanobots. I'm supposed to meet with her Wednesday, but she hasn't gotten her test back yet. But so I'll tell you how that goes too.
Yeah. These nanobots intrigue me. I don't want any. I believe that. I believe it though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what her test says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And good to see you as usual.
Good to see you too, and I hope that you have a good day. Yes, and that it's a better day than yesterday, but just remind yourself to pay attention to those feelings. Let yourself feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you sleep better this weekend, hopefully. Just keep
Thank you.
working at it. You'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
Jen.
All right. Have a good week.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.